achieved.
What up? Welcome, everybody, to Studio Day Heffrey, where today there are a couple of Cowboy things I'd like to get after with you. And remember, as always, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh. Leave in the comments of this video what you want to talk about tomorrow, and I'll try my best to take care of you. So today, what I want to do is something we kicked around on the radio the other day, and I do a lot of radio off the dome, believe in off the dome, just kind of go. Tell me the topic, let's go. But I took a peek. I went and did a little work here. I'm trying to figure out, all right, how realistic is it if we think the Cowboys are a contender, right? Let's compare the Dallas Cowboys roster to the other contenders in the NFC. And if you want me to throw in the AFC, I suppose I can do that. But let's compare them to the other rosters in the NFC. And I will use a little bit of help here by Pro Football Focus put out their top 50 NFL players. And so what I did, and this is a beating, but it's what I did, is I used the Control F, actually Command F, since I was using a laptop. No, I was typing into a laptop. I was using a PC, so I was using Control F. And just went through for every team to see how many players do they think are top 50 players in the NFL on each team. How many do the Cowboys have? Then, after that, let's go look at the entire roster and let's figure out Cowboys versus fill-in-the-blank team. Which roster would you rather have? How many rosters in the NFL would you trade the Cowboys? Take them all to take their team. So, I'm going to start with the NFC. The teams that have the most top 50 players in the league, according to Pro Football Focus. Who do you think it is? I'm going to give you like 3 seconds to think. Say it out loud. Who do you think? NFC, most top 50 players. They go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So check it out. They got Tom Brady at number 24 in the league. That's a projection, guys. That's a projection. You didn't watch him last year and decide he was a top 25 player in the league, but whatever. I'm trying to respect their work here. Tom Brady, number 24 in the league. Chris Godwin, wide receiver, number 33 in the league. And Chris Godwin is a monster. Had him on my fantasy team last year. If it weren't for injuries, we would have won the league. That's what you always say, right? My guys always tear ACLs, all of them. But Chris Godwin's a monster. Levante David at 37 and Mike Evans at 45. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4 top 50 players in the league, which is second out of all teams in the league. The Chiefs had 5. But so they got 4. And so did the Saints. So I guess technically I'm burying the lead here because the Saints would be considered the best of this group because their guys are ranked higher. Saints, number 6 overall, Michael Thomas. Drew Brees at number 11, Cam Jordan at number 21, Ryan Ramczyk at number 26. So the Saints have the strongest top of the roster in the NFC according to Pro Football Focus. Do you agree with it? Yeah, I probably do. Other teams in the mix. The 49ers. They've got 3 top 50 players. George Kittle, who they have at number 5 overall in the entire NFL. Richard Sherman at 14 and Nick Bosa at 41. So they got 3 top 50 players. That's nice. The Vikings have 3 top 50 players. Both safeties, Anthony Harris and Harrison Smith, and then Danielle Hunter, pass rusher, right there at number 50. The Eagles have 3 players in the top 50. Fletcher Cox at 15, Brandon Brooks at 34, and Brandon Graham at 49. Good player, but And the Packers, Devontae Adams at 38, David Bakhtiari at 42, Kenny Clark at 44. So that's all the teams that have either 4 or 3. Teams in the NFC that have 2 top 50 players, according to Pro Football Focus, include Seahawks, Russell Wilson at 7, Bobby Wagner at 17, Falcons, Julio Jones at 3, Grady Jarrett at 32. Now, that gets us through all the teams with multiple guys. The Cowboys have only 1, and he's at number 46 overall, and it's Zach Martin. So to make the case that the Cowboys have as good or a better roster than all these other teams, one, you'd have to say, well, I disagree with fill in the blank, which I can do. I think Tank Lawrence is a better player than Brandon Graham today. So I think Zach Martin, Brandon Brooks is a wash. I can't beat Fletcher Cox, but he's also getting older. But guys that aren't in the top 50 that easily could be, or a year from now could be, Tyron Smith, if he's healthy, is a top 50 player. Lyle Collins has a great case to be a top 50 player. Hold on, let me go across the team here. Amari Cooper has a case to be a top 50 player. After this year, going into next year, CeeDee Lamb may have a case for a top 50 player. You can say Ezekiel Elliott if you want to. That's fine. Corners, no. Safeties, no. Linebackers, probably not. Maybe Van Der Esch if he's fully healthy and takes a step back towards what he was as a rookie. And so that's going to be about it. What about a super surprise from Aldon Smith? But the Cowboys can compete with those rosters. And now let's factor in the rest of the depth chart, right? I don't just want your best players. I want your entire team. The Minnesota Vikings, Cowboys roster is better than the Vikings roster. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and who would be their third receiver? Tajay Sharp. Against Cooper, Gallup, Lamb. Come on. Offensive line. Riley Reif, Pat Elflein, Garrett Bradbury, Dakota Dozier, and Brian O'Neill against Cowboys. You take the Cowboys. Kyle Rudolph against Jarwin. Push. Cousins against Dak. I'm a Cousins guy. I think Cousins is a better player than he gets credit for. But I would still go Dak by a little bit. Dalvin Cook versus Zeke. I'd take Dalvin Cook, but he's a running back, so who cares? So the Cowboys, basically across the board on offense, you're like, give me the Cowboys. Defense, Danielle Hunter is about it on their D-line, but they do have Eric Kendricks. They got Anthony Barr. Their secondary, they're going to be banking on so many young people. The safeties are good, but at corner they got nothing. Vikings, you'd take the Cowboys. Eagles, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor versus Cowboys receiver, Cowboys. Andre Dillard versus Tyron Smith at left tackle, Cowboys. Left guard, I don't even know who the Cowboys is, but push, because the Eagles don't have a good left guard either. Center, you take the Eagles. Right guard, it's Jason Kelsey. Right guard, Brandon Brooks versus Zach Martin is a push. You'll take either one and be ecstatic. Right tackle is a push. Lane Johnson versus Lyle Collins, you take either one and be super happy. Obviously, they're better at tight end. Miles Sanders versus Zeke. You don't want to know my answer to that. And Wentz versus Dak. You take Dak by about that much, right? So you stack up okay. They've done a good job building the defense, though, in Philadelphia. Darius Slay and Nickel Roby Coleman being added in the secondary. Who else did they add? Javon Hargrave and Malik Jackson added to Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, Brandon Graham. The Eagles is a good roster. It's a good roster. But on the strength of the Cowboys wide receivers, I'll take the Cowboys roster over the Eagles roster. Green Bay Packers. Wide receiver, Devontae Adams and nothing. Tight end. Nothing. Offensive line, David Bakhtiari's awesome. Outside of that, meh. This isn't, no. The Cowboys are a better roster than the Green Bay Packers. And Green Bay, sure, they won a bunch of games last year. But I am a Bill Barnwell believer. Bill Barnwell, before the football season starts, what he's going to do is he's going to write an article. And he's been doing this for years. He's going to write an article. And he's just going to use point differential from a year ago and say, here's 3 teams that are going to be better than they were a year ago, and here's 3 teams that are going to be worse. And he bats 900 doing this. 90% of the time, he's right about the teams he picks. And all he uses is point differential from a year ago. Cowboys in the NFC last year were 3rd in point differential. 49ers, Saints, Cowboys. Cowboys were 8-8. To me, this whole thing, sorry for raising my voice, this whole thing is the most damning Jason Garrett and coaching staff and train wreck last year and linebacker coaching, special team coaching. Holy crap, this whole thing fell apart last year. Ended 8-8 when a bunch of parts of your team said, dude, you should have been better than 8-8. This is the most damning thing about that Jason Garrett era is that Barnwell's going to pick the Cowboys to win 10 or 11 games, and they should, and they will. And then we're going to look back at the last decade and be like, well, hold on, how many more games could you have won? Because Garrett has a decent record as a head coach. I think, this is top of my head, but he's top 7 in the league when he was the head coach of the Cowboys in terms of the team's record during that tenure. What could you have won? What did you waste in the couple of years that the Romo teams had a chance, and then in 16, and it just, like, how much did you waste, Garrett? Come on, Jason. Cowboys have a better roster than the Green Bay Packers. San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and who's their third wide receiver at the moment? Jalen Hurd or Dante Pettis or Kendrick Bourne? You'll take the Cowboys wide receivers. I don't mind the 49er receivers. Debo's really good. Brandon Ayuk, you're counting on a rookie who ain't CeeDee Lamb. And then your third guy is Trent Williams being added to that team is big. Mike McGlinchey at right tackle. Laken Tomlinson, Weston Richburg, Tom Compton, George Kittle, Garoppolo, Mostert, or Tevin Coleman, whoever you like, Juszczyk. I would take the players. Let me think about it for a second. And clear the throat obnoxiously right in your face. I would take the Cowboys players on offense over the 49ers players on offense. I would take Dak over Garoppolo by a little bit. Obviously, you'd take George Kittle, but I'll take Tyron and Lyle over their tackles. Zach Martin thrown in there, the Cowboys wide receiver. Yeah, that's an easy decision. I'm sorry I made it sound like it wasn't easy. I'd take the Cowboys offensive personnel over the 49ers all day long. Defensive personnel. 49ers run out Eric Armstead, D. Ford, Javon Kinlaw, Nick Bosa, Quan Alexander, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Richard Sherman, Jimmy Ward. They're stacked. 49ers roster is better than the Cowboys. By a little bit. But their roster is better than the Cowboys. Nick Bosa is better than Tank Lawrence. Not that Tank's not great. Eric Armstead is probably better than anything else the Cowboys have on the D-line. Javon Kinlaw has a chance to be better than anything the Cowboys have on the D-line. Their linebackers are easily better than the Cowboys linebackers. Richard Sherman's still great. I'll take 49ers roster over the Cowboys roster by a little bit. Saints versus Cowboys. And how heavy are we weighing quarterback? Would you take Cowboys over 49ers just because you like Cowboys quarterback better? Because you're trading the whole team. You don't get to pick and choose. I think I'll take the 49ers. I'll take the 49ers. Right? Yeah, I'll take the 49ers. Okay. The Saints. Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, and Traquan Smith or Deontay Harris or Lil Jordan Humphrey. I don't know. But Michael Thomas is better than any Cowboy receiver. Emmanuel Sanders is good. Very good. But they can't match Cowboys wide receivers. Teron Armstead, Andrews Pete, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, Ryan Ramczyk. That's a really good offensive line. Jared Cook at tight end, old man. Drew Brees is still great. Alvin Kamara is better than Zeke. Okay, and then on defense, Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, David Onyemata, Marcus Davenport. They had Janoris Jenkins. They had Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore. The Saints have a better roster than the Cowboys. Yeah, they do. Saints have a better roster than the Cowboys. Now, I'm not going to go through the AFC with the same depth because, look, there aren't enough hours in the day, okay? For crying out loud. Be happy with what you get. Just kidding, I love you. But in the AFC, the Chiefs have a better roster than the Cowboys on the strength of their best players. Pat Mahomes, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Mitch Schwartz. Chiefs have a better roster than the Cowboys. Ravens don't. Lamar Jackson, Calais Campbell, Ronnie Stanley, Mark Andrews is a good player. Ravens don't have a better roster than the Cowboys. I don't think anybody else in the AFC does. Tampa Bay, going back to the NFC for a second, they're interesting. Cowboys have a better roster than Seattle. They have a better roster than the LA Rams. Tampa Bay's interesting because they've got some really, 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 really good players, but they don't have the depth that the Cowboys have. I'll take the Cowboys roster over Tampa Bay, and I'll feel doubly better about it because Tom Brady's 100 years old and he's washed. See, I said it with conviction that time, pretending I'm not terrified that Brady's about to throw for 5,000 yards and 46 touchdowns and 12 picks. And I'm going to be like, whoops, sorry about that. Thought he was washed. Turns out his team just sucked. But no, Tom Brady's washed. So that's where the Cowboys rank on roster. I put him ahead of Tampa Bay. I put him ahead of Seattle. 49ers, Saints, Chiefs. 3 teams, I think, have a better roster than the Cowboys. And I think those are potentially debatable. You have an awesome roster. Go win. Go win big. Do it now. Do it now. And I think that's really all I got today. Do I want to get to the questions? Should I make another video? Because I got 2 people who are saying, hey, Jeff, can you break down the entire offensive stats for every skill position player? Because I did the Jarwin stats, guessing at his stats. And they want to do every player. And I'll do it. It'll just take a while right this second. Plus, I need to pull up the totals from last year so I can divvy them out properly. I'll bang through a couple of these real quick. Again, leave your comments, youtube.com/Jeff Cavanaugh on this video, and I will try to address whatever it is that you would like to talk about tomorrow. Somehow I lost the name on this comment, and I didn't mean to because I was just copy and pasting them and emailing to myself, but somehow I missed it. So whoever sent this, I love you. Speak about Sean Lee and Tyron Smith's replacements in the upcoming drafts. Irreplaceable pieces that have to have quality replacements. Well, Sean Lee's not irreplaceable anymore. He's been basically a backup linebacker for a couple of years. But if you're the Cowboys, you do have to be really worried about what your linebacker position looks like going forward. I'm not worried about this year. You know, Jaylon Smith has been durable. Leighton Vander Esch, you worry about the health, but you still have Sean Lee. You still have Joe Thomas. You got the old heads who can play, and you're not thinking that they're going to play atrociously if they have to play, but you got to be getting ready for what's next because you're about to be running out of depth. And I know maybe Luke Gifford. I know the previous staff liked him. He impressed in camp last year. Maybe there are young guys that are going to develop into players, but if I'm the Cowboys, I've already got buyer's remorse on one big contract in my linebacker core. I'm worried about Vander Esch long-term with the neck. And the 2 backup guys, they're kind of journeymen at this point. So, yeah, that needs to be a priority, but Sean Lee is not irreplaceable. Although you could make the case that this team missed his leadership last year, Tyrone Crawford's leadership last year. Maybe the coaching staff could actually lead somebody. And Greg Sturgis says, question for next time. Jeff, rank the following players in terms of sacks. There is one gnat. I keep the door open so the dogs can go in and out. So I got bugs now. I'll go buy some port. Is it port wine? I think Gavin Spittle told me to get some port wine and put it in some cups around the house, and they'll dive bomb in there and get themselves killed. Rank the following players in terms of sacks, overall defensive impact, assuming reinstatement and good health. Sacks, overall defensive impact. Okay. Gerald McCoy, Jaylon Smith, Randy Gregory, and Aldon Smith are the names that he gives me. Overall defensive impact, Jaylon might be number 1 there. There's a good chance he's number 1 there because he's going to play the most snaps. And hopefully they'll send him downhill more often and back in coverage less often. So I know this isn't the exciting answer because a lot of people are disappointed in Jaylon Smith's play last year, but I think he's the safest pick, not to lead him in sacks out of this group. I'll take, boy, that's a great question. Between those 4 guys, sack numbers. Top of my head, Tank's going to have 11. I'm assuming reinstatement. Reinstatement already happened. I'm assuming good health. How about Aldon Smith, 6.5? Assuming reinstatement and good health for Gregory is just tough right now because he hadn't been reinstated. Gerald McCoy, 5.5. Randy Gregory, totally unknown. I'll just throw the number 4 out. I'll just throw it out there. So, and Jaylon Smith, 3. So in sack order, I'll go, where did I just go? Aldon Smith, Gerald McCoy, Randy Gregory, Jaylon Smith. Overall impact, Jaylon Smith, number 1. Gerald McCoy, 2. Aldon Smith, 3. Randy Gregory, 4. How about that? How about it? How about that? All right, thank you so much, everybody that tunes in, everybody that is subscribed, everybody that checks 1053thefan.com every day, everybody that listens to 1053 The Fan. You guys are my homies. We'll see you on the radio in a little bit, and just leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow, and I will be very, very happy to try and take care of you. Get you all handled up, okay? That was my goodbye, but I can't hit the stop. I missed the stop button. No, I'm hitting it now. I'll see you guys later.